A Florida woman shoots at her sugar daddy in front of his girlfriend. A Florida couple have sex on a bridge in front of juveniles. A Florida man was caught pooping onto a dead possum. And a Florida man slashes tires and claims he's a demon. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all from Florida because on Friday we only do weird news from Florida. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. Let's do it. A Florida woman shoots at her sugar daddy in front of his daughter and full-time girlfriend. A lot to unpack here. Very convoluted title, a very convoluted story. Florida people are very complex. A Florida lady who is the mistress of a man she refers to as her, quote, sugar daddy, is accused of firing a gun into the car of the man's full-time girlfriend, all while the girlfriend's infant child sat in the car. Okay, all right, now things are becoming more clear. I thought she shot at the sugar daddy in front of his daughter, who was also his full-time girlfriend. I know that would seem unlikely under normal circumstances, but this is a Florida situation where it's quite possible for your daughter to be your full-time girlfriend. I mean, it's probably not that uncommon in this state. We have Zara Percy, the alleged shooter. She used the man's gun in the act. According to the authorities, the Daytona Beach love triangle violently collapsed outside an apartment building when the 20-year-old Percy found out the man she was seeing had a full-time girlfriend. She's upset that her sugar daddy has a girlfriend. I thought most sugar daddies had wives. I mean, it's quite common for a sugar daddy to be married. So I don't see what all the hubbub is that your sugar daddy has a girlfriend. She wants a little bit more commitment out of her sugar daddy, though. You know, Percy has dreams. The victim said she went to pick up dinner from Wendy's at around 9 p.m. when she saw a silver car parked outside her house, according to an arrest affidavit. She told authorities she had seen the car pass by the residence before, so she approached the vehicle. As the unidentified woman parked next to the vehicle, she saw Percy exit the apartment building. The woman's boyfriend, who is also the father of her 1-year-old child, was walking with Percy. The woman then reportedly got out of her car to confront Percy and her boyfriend, and someone shouted, "She's got a gun!" Authorities said the victim ran back to her car to seek safety, while Percy simultaneously opened the trunk of her car and pulled out her gun. She started shooting at the victim and shooting toward her car, where the infant was seated inside. Police said at least 2 rounds were fired. Okay, apparently the officers arrested Percy 6 days later. They pulled her over at a traffic stop and they found the gun in her car. And I'm still not quite sure what's going on here in this Florida woman, the play. We have a lot of characters is the issue. We have the sugar daddy. We have the sugar baby. We have the daughter of the sugar daddy. We have the girlfriend of the sugar daddy. We have, of course, the police, as we always do in Florida. I would say the only characters that we are missing in this play, Florida Woman, the play, are tweakers. You should have some tweakers. They can act as the chorus in a Greek play, you know, just in the background, tweaking and and screaming. I don't know. I'm just trying to piece this together. A Florida couple is arrested for sex in public, and for one of them, it was a dream come true. We have our stars of the story, Sarah Fazekas and her partner, Robert Clark. They're a Florida couple, and they're what you would call romantic. They're very much into each other. Can't keep their hands off one another, let's say. They're what you would call in love. This Florida couple was arrested after having intercourse on public property in Florida, during which they were apparently fully nude with juveniles present nearby. After the couple was arrested for intercourse on Florida public property in front of some juveniles, Sarah reportedly told the police that it was, quote, always a dream of mine to have sex in public. I've always wanted to do that. It's been a dream of mine to have that sex in the public, in front of children. That's really what I just always wanted to experience that. This lady, always a dream of hers. Was that in her dating profile as well? You know, they have questions in the dating profiles. What's your craziest trip you ever been on? What's a dream of yours? What's your most embarrassing moment? Well, for Sarah, her dream was to have sex in public, and who are we to deny her this dream? All right, well, let's get down to the dastardly details of this public fornication. We have Pinellas County, of course, Pinellas County, where public sex is quite common, I'm sure. The deputies received a plethora of calls. It says, ooh, would you say a plethora of calls? Would you say a plethora of piñatas? The deputies received, that's what it says, a plethora of calls. That means a lot of calls, guys. The calls were about a nude couple fornicating in the presence of victims. Yeah, victims. If you were to see a photo of these two, if you were exposed to them fornicating nude in public, I would call you a victim. It's not going to be a great thing to see. It says the couple was fornicating in the presence of victims, including a pair of juveniles, according to the complaint. Sarah is 55 years old. Clark is 60. They were, quote, fully nude on top of one another. The report also reveals that Clark was lying on his back with his genitals fully exposed. A witness reported describing the incriminating scene as, quote, crack to sack going to town. This is the greatest quote of any witness ever in a Florida story. The witness said the scene was crack to sack going to town. I guess crack to sack describes Clark. He was naked, crack to sack, going to town. This witness is unbelievable. Give this person a job at the local news desk. I would love to see or hear more descriptions of crimes by this witness. It's a very colorful individual, very poetic, one would say. Sarah boastfully shared her wishes with the deputies upon her arrest, stating, quote, this was always a dream of mine, having sex on the causeway. Having sex on the causeway, specifically. I guess the causeway is some sort of bridge surrounded by waters that offers beautiful views of St. Joseph Sound. So it wasn't enough for her to just stand on the causeway and enjoy the beautiful views of the St. Joseph Sound. You guys know how beautiful it probably is. It's a sound in Florida, so I'd imagine there's tweakers on the banks of this sound, perhaps a lot of gators attacking picnickers. I mean, just a wonderful place to be. And, and what better to be naked, crack to sack, going to town on top of the causeway. Clark appeared rather indignant about the situation, according to the arrest report. He exhibited zero remorse that he subjected children to the sight of his genitalia, which I would probably assume is unsightly. He declared that, quote, the children should be at home and not on the causeway. Well, it's after 9 p.m. What are these kids doing on the causeway? They should be at home anyways. It's their own fault that they saw me crack to sack, naked, going to town. Crack to sack? Hey, man, they come out after 8 p.m. They might see crack to sack going to town. It's their fault. It's the parents' fault. What are they doing? These kids should be at home. Well, it says here, Clark has been charged with, it's a charge we're all too familiar with, given the years that we've been experiencing Florida Fridays together. Clark was charged with the all-classic lewd and lascivious behavior, although they're referring to it in this lascivious exhibition. Sarah was charged with exposing herself as well, and she accrued an additional narcotics charge because the cops found clonazepam, which is a benzodiazepine, inside her purse. But, she was just trying to make her dreams come true. Yeah, pop a couple of benzos and make sweet love on the causeway with her lover. It's just a dream, man. Floridians do have dreams too, and dreams are unlimited. I mean, unless you live in Florida, where the limit apparently is the causeway. Let's just hope Sarah's other dream is prison sex, because that's where she's headed. You can always put these two in the zoo where they can have all the public sex they want. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it on the causeway because we are mammals. A Florida man was caught pooping on a dead possum in public. I mean, is this up for the Title of the Year award? Possibly. Florida man caught pooping onto a dead possum in public. I have so many questions. I have a feeling not many of them are going to be answered. A Florida man has been arrested after he was seen defecating onto a dead possum by police officers out in the open where, quote, any other motorists could see him. Was he in the middle of the road? Why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we do it in the road? I'm pooping on the possum right in the middle of the road. This happened about 5:30 p.m. Officers with the Clearview Police Department witnessed Florida man Rudy Wilcox, age 45, relieving himself onto a dead possum in a public area. All right. According to the... Sorry. Okay, all right, brace yourself. According to the arrest affidavit, police saw Rudy's, quote, pants lowered and his anal region exposed. Oh, it was another crack to sack situation. This time there was no fornication with the dead possum, thankfully. What's weirder, fornicating with a dead possum or defecating on a dead possum? You guys be the voters on that one. I wouldn't put it past a Florida man to do both of those things in the same story, though. This disturbing sight of Rudy, his anal region, his pants lowered, the dead possum between his nether region. This disturbing sight was not just seen by the officers, though. Police say Rudy was, quote, in full view of the motoring public during busy traffic hours. It was 5:30 p.m. That's rush hour. Of all the times for Rudy to be defecating onto a dead possum in the view of the motor traffic. Do you have to do it during rush hour, Rudy? Well, Rudy is an exhibitionist, clearly a defecation exhibitionist. A defecationist. Is that a word? An exhibition defecationist. An exhibition defecationist. I think I just made up something, guys, that you could probably only encounter in Florida. All right, let's keep reading and find out what Rudy's motivation was to defecate on the possum on the roadside. Police say that Rudy denied the allegations, actually. Allegedly, he said the officer, quote, doesn't see straight. However, police stated that the, quote, physical evidence was viewed at the scene, which corroborates the allegations alleged. So, well, you know, when you defecate and you leave it there, Rudy, if you don't pick it up, that is the evidence. That's the physical evidence that corroborates the allegations of you defecating onto a dead possum. Rudy was arrested for exposure of sexual organs. That's the end. That's it. There's no, what is the motive? Can we all, can we guess? Maybe he was backed up. He has a hard time pooping. He's poop shy. We all need our rituals. You know, with me, it's that first cup of coffee in the morning that usually gets me onto the throne. Maybe for Rudy, it's got to be dead, blind animals. What do they call these things? Marsupial. That's it. It's a marsupial. I have a hard time remembering this word. You don't encounter it very often. So maybe Rudy needs to be in the vicinity of a dead marsupial for him to go. You know, it's marsupial, poopial, marpoopial. Wow, sometimes I'm immature. Want to create a podcast? Spotify's platform lets you easily make, record, and distribute a podcast everywhere. Even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Record and edit on your phone or computer. Send it to Spotify and everywhere podcasts are heard. They even have video podcasting options. Spotify for Podcasters allows you to earn money with ads and subscriptions too. Best of all, it's free. Try it. Download Spotify for Podcasters or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your life, man. A Florida man is charged with 27 counts of property damage, claims he's being demonized. Let's find out if he's actually being demonized. It's very sad when a Florida man is demonized because that's in addition to the demons they already have in them. It's like demon squared. A Florida man was arrested after getting caught on camera, slashing the tires of 27 vehicles in a Miami-Dade neighborhood. He appeared in court. His defense was, he claims he was demonized and that he was also exposed to government information. Wow, this guy really knows how to get out of charges. Just say you're demonized and exposed to government information. That gets you out of anything. And it might even get you on the Alex Jones show as well. He loves people that have been demonized and exposed to government information. So this could make you famous if you keep going with this storyline. We have Floridaman Juan Pablo Ramos Nieto, 41 years old. He's charged with 27 counts of criminal misdemeanor after slashing tires of cars in the Villas del Campos community. The 27 counts are for each of the tires that were slashed. We have a quote from Florida man Juan Pablo Ramos Nieto. The quote is, "I need an attorney. Also, I want on the record of dealing with secret government influences, commonly known as Masonic or federal influences." And I mean, you know, I want to just let that be known. I'm dealing with a federal case, all right, and government influencing, all right. I can't be self-incriminating myself, all right. I was exposed to secret government information. I'm dealing with a federal case. I'm being sabotaged, and I'm being sabotaged too. I'm being sabotaged, and I'm being sabotaged as well. I'm being demonized. I warned the CIA about all of this, that I'm being demonized, that if I'm being demonized more like a government building on fire that's unoccupied. So I'm just like, I'm letting that be known. I'm letting them know that it's just, you know, it's unoccupied in the CIA and the government, and there's demons. And now for a quote from the neighbor named Rena. "You know, the whole neighborhood was in a mess. Everybody's tires was slashed. The cops was here. Everyone was running around trying to figure out what was happening. It was very shocking. Very shocking." And lastly, the article ends with a quote from the great 80s hair band Motley Crue. "Shout, shout, shout at the devil. Shout, 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 shout at the devil!" Yay! Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thanks for spending another Florida Friday episode with me and the show. Appreciate it very much. Hope you're having a nice weekend, or you had one, or you're about to have one. And I want to thank specifically, well, not that specific, just generally, everyone who sent me Florida stories the last 48 hours. That was very, very helpful, and you made my job a lot easier. I was able to do what I think is a pretty strange, quirky, funny, informative, what's another adjective we could put in there? Anyways, pretty good Florida Friday episode. And so I want to thank you guys for helping me out with that. I'm still traveling, not traveling. I'm in Texas. I'm doing shows in Texas, in Dallas. I'm here all weekend. So if you want to come check me out, please go to my Instagram at FunnyJones, where there's a link to get tickets, or just look up TK's Comedy in Dallas. It's specifically in Addison. Or just send me an email, funnyjones@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link or something. I'll try and make it easy for you. Anyways, if you'd like to call the show, the number is 646-450-2012. If you want to support the show by joining the Patreon, that would be extremely helpful. Just go to patreon.com/weirdafnews, or download the Patreon app on your smartphone and do a search for Weird AF News. Or just go to the official website, weirdafnews.com, where you can join the Patreon there. And you can click on Buy Jonesy a Coffee. You can even buy me a coffee while I'm traveling. How about that? How about that? Anyways, have a great weekend, guys. If someone happens to ask you what your favorite podcast is, you know what to say. You know what to say.